Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network proudly brings to you its tag team champions of the world. The Road Dogg, Tino Gray, the badass, Rob Potsy Potchak, and apparently Flynn, wanting to howl. Wanting to howl. Hey, look at this cat. He's just going and going and going, man. Like, that's enough. That's enough, buddy. We got a podcast to do. Can't go singing a song or whatever you're trying to do over there. What was that?
Isn't that the same dog that barks at me and growls at me every time I come to your house? He runs up and screams.
He must have heard me say Tino. Like now he's chilled out. Now he's just like hanging out over there.
What's up?
But yeah, exactly. He does not like you, man.
I tell you, that dog's racist. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I go to Rob's house, that's the reaction I get when I walk in the door.
That's not the reaction. That was howling, man. Like, he doesn't normally howl. He normally just barks at you for a minute. But that right there was straight howling.
And what is up with you racist dogs? Was it Artie?
Yeah, Artie was definitely a racist dog. He was only halfway racist because he'd forget about being racist.
He'd be sitting on the couch next to me, let me pet him. He goes, wait a minute, wait. You're not supposed to pet me.
For those that don't know, I used to have a boxer pit mix that was the dumbest dog in the world, but man, he had a lot of love. He was
sweet. He was sweet.
He was a big old sweetheart, and unfortunately we lost him to cancer. But before that, every time Tino would come over for a WWE event, Artie would be sitting there on my lap, doorbell would ring, and he'd start barking, and then I'd open up the door, and Tino would be standing there, and he'd look at him, and he'd like walk up close, and he'd look at him like this, and then he'd go. And then Tino would back up a couple steps, and then Tino would step up and try to pet him, do the whole let him sniff me thing, and he'd sniff him, and then he'd jump back 2 steps and again, and this would go on for like we'd have to pause the DVR or whatever we were watching the pay-per-view on for like half an hour, and then finally like we get to the whole thing, we'd be Tino would be sitting on the couch, I'd be sitting on the other seat, and Artie would hop up on the couch, and he'd lay next to Tino and get all comfy against him and everything, and Tino would start petting him, and then Artie would look at him, and he'd be like, "Oh shit!"
I'm just that stupid dog.
And then it would happen again and again. Like, it'd be like 3 times a night that the dog would forget that Tino was black. Artie did that with Shavar too, so it was definitely just my black friend. So.
Oh my God. That used to crack me up so bad, man.
Well, yeah, because he wouldn't hurt a fly.
No, that's the thing.
Like, he was 80 pounds of not being able to hurt nothing, Like my other dog at the time was a 20-pound pug who
she looked at him like, shut up.
She owned him. She owned him. So
he'd run from her. I'm like, dude, that's her side.
Yeah. He was scared of her, man. Like it was like the opposite of like the Tom and Jerry cartoons where you would have like the little dog sitting there saying, "Yes, Spike, Spike. What do we do, Spike? And it'd be the opposite of that where Landis, the little dog, was the Spike, and she'd be like, "Get your ass over here! I told you, stand behind me."
Mm-hmm. And Artie is one of those. Which way did he go?
Yeah, it was like, like,
and I'm gonna name him George. I'm gonna hug him and squeeze him and call him my own.
I mean, he really was. Oh man, he was one of the best.
Oh God.
Both of them were, and Flynn's a good dog too. He just he just I don't know. It's weird, man. Like he goes through these spells where just out of nowhere he'll just start doing stuff like that, and it's like what the hell are you doing? Like my sister. It's funny. My sister likes to sing, and every time she sings "Let It Go" from Frozen, like Flynn starts doing that.
Let's it go.
Well, yeah, he does that whole howling thing.
Oh my God.
So I guess I must have hit that note when I did the road dog there.
Mm-hmm. Then you must have. Wait, he heard something outside. I don't know what that was. He went crazy.
No, he didn't hear nothing outside. There's nothing going on out there. Like he literally just wanted it, and now he's wagging his tail at me and everything. He's like, stop talking on the podcast and start talking to me. That's what he's saying. But so Tino, it's been a while since we did one of these. What's going on?
Been a while. House stuff, graduation stuff. You saw it on Facebook. In case you guys didn't know, we got our whole house. We got it resided, repainted. We got that taken care of. Then came inside, and we got new floors put in the bedroom. So we had carpet. So we have pergo flooring through the house, but in the bedrooms we had carpet, which has been in here as long as we've owned the house, and we've been in this house for about 15 years. So like, we can get rid of it. But then she's like, well, if we're going to get rid of the carpet, let's paint before we do it. So we painted. So Haley painted her room, and Nicole and I painted our bedroom. And then before we got the carpet in, so we painted it. They came, ripped up the carpet. It looks fantastic. The flooring looks fantastic. And I was telling you the final thing I need to do, because all this Nicole wanted done before Haley's graduation party on June 15th.
Right.
So the last thing I got to do is the weekend of June 8th. I was telling you we're gonna be replacing the deck, and so and that'll be it for this house.
Replacing the bed, huh?
The deck.
Oh.
Outside deck. Shut up, dumbass. And then on top of that, so like I said, and getting ready for graduation and getting her prepared and getting everything lined up. It's been crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, the whole graduation thing. I unfortunately won't be able to make it to the graduation because I'll be in Charlotte for Heroes Con. But
I know.
I mean that's a 3-day convention too, so that's going to be a tiring. Yeah.
You get a chance to come check out the house either.
Oh, we'll definitely set something up to where I come out there at some point, after the kids move out and, we're old.
Right, old. Get rid of the animals.
By the time you have to change the carpet again.
There's no carpet anymore. We'll have to move stuff. So we'll have to put, every time Rob comes over, he's allergic to the cat. So last time he was here, we put a blanket, or towel over the ottoman so the cat hair wouldn't bother you.
It's so weird too, because like my allergy to cats is like it makes me want to sleep like instantly.
Wow.
So like and that's only because I'm not like touching my face with it. Like as soon as I touch my eyes are like like
weird.
Like a giant gecko or something. But yeah, so like it just makes, like, for whatever reason, I just start getting I think what it is it gets me tired so that I fall down into the cat hair and then my eye blows up. I think that's what it is. But like forever, it's so funny because my family had a cat when I was growing up. So you don't realize where all your allergies are coming from. So you're like, oh, it's just hay fever or whatever. And it's like you get rid of the cat and suddenly you don't have allergies and you're like, what the hell's going on? Like I can breathe. Like, what is this? And it's just weird shit, man. Like you learn these things about yourself. Like one of my sisters is allergic to down pillows. So like the feather pillows, but she had feather pillows for like 18 years. So how do you learn that you're allergic to that? Like one night you just sleep on a different kind of bed and you're like, hey, this is different.
Like she never had sleepovers with another friend's house. Like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just weird. Well, you know, I think that the first part of the problem was that my mom smoked for like 30 years while we were growing up. So of course we couldn't breathe anyway.
Yeah.
You know, because when your parents smoke in the house and the kids are just inhaling it all the time, you might as well just, you know, like eat a chimney or some shit. So
pretty much. I
So-
grew up with that too.
So you got some concerts coming up that you're going to, not even playing. These are ones you're going to, right?
actually going to. So that this Monday, it's Memorial Day. Father-in-law is a big Beatles fan, so he got so it's gonna be my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, Nicole, and I, and the kids are all going to go see Paul McCartney on Monday.
I mean, you guys aren't getting an inheritance now. Like that's what that costs.
I don't know, man. And then Friday for Christmas, Nicole got me tickets. I'm going to see Hootie and the Bare Naked Ladies. And then
the Blowfish are going to be there, right?
Yeah, the Blowfish will be there too. It'll be Hootie, and Blowfish, and then the Bare Naked Ladies. They're playing separate.
So, but Bare Naked Ladies should open for Hootie, right?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm imagining. I mean, because they're the only two people there. So Hootie and Blowfish, I'm sure, are going to be the headliners.
Oh yeah, they gotta be, man. Like, and it's like the whole band. Like it's the originals.
Yeah,
I heard him on a radio program not too long ago, Darius Rucker, and they were asking him like are they gonna try out any new music? And he's like, hell no, man. We're an old band now. Now we just play all the classics.
Yep. He's got all he can say. Grace over trying to write new country stuff. So I'm sure
you think
the Blowfish are going to be.
You think any of the Blowfish are gonna sit there and just start like strumming one of his other songs, like just to see if he'll sing it?
I'm sure he'll do some of his country stuff, one or two, probably of his hits. But I think this is gonna be Hootie and the Blowfish, just awesome. Because I've seen Darius Rucker. He came to not Walnut Creek. What is it? The Carrie Cocoa Booth Amphitheater. He came out to the Carrie Cocoa Booth. As Darius Rucker, as his country, and doing Hootie and the Blowfish songs. So I'm sure this won't be any different. They'll still probably mix and match some songs.
Well, maybe, but like he's got to pay them now. So
yeah, yeah, true.
Man, can you believe it's been like 25 years since those guys started?
I was trying to remember. Yeah, it has been a minute.
Remember they used to do Hootie free weekends because they play Hootie so much because they had like 5 hits at one time. So they literally would do Hootie free weekends. And for those who don't know, like Tino says it all the time, his Twitter handle is HootieFan91. But on top of that, when we first met Tino, my buddy John, who we call Fubar, him and I, because Tino was singing karaoke. And he was singing a Hootie song, and we were like, "Holy shit, it's Darius Rucker!" And Tino also likes to wear North Carolina gear, and because of that, like we were like, "It's got to be Darius Rucker." He's wearing the Carolina gear, and it's got to be him.
And ball caps. So usually people, I'm at home now relaxing, but Rob will tell you 9 times out of 10, if I'm out and about, I've got a ball cap on my head.
Exactly,
and
that's either like an ECU hat or a Carolina hat.
So that's just a t-shirt, jeans, and a ball cap, and that's how comfortable I am. That's
well, we're both t-shirt and jeans guys. I mean, that like the only time we're in style is when that's actually the style.
Yeah, and that and when I have to work and I have to my day job, I gotta shirt and slacks and shoes. And I hate that. Nicole laughs at me because I don't wear. I've stopped wearing the tie, so I'm like. They don't. I'm supposed to wear a tie, but I don't. They hadn't said anything to me yet, so I'm like, all right, cool. But before, when I had to, I would get out the car and I'll be already stripping everything off before I would get in the house. And she's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. I hate it. I hate it."
I know exactly what you mean, man. Like I am definitely. I like my new work attire. I mean, I'm wearing a WonderCon shirt today. Like look at that.
That's awesome.
Just 80th anniversary Batman shirt. Screw it. I'm just going to wear it.
Batman, real quick before we get into the wrestling, the WB shows are coming out next fall. What do you think of the new Batwoman?
See, I thought you were going to go with the other Batman question. Since
I'm
they
not even going. Don't, because if you talk about damn Edward, the dude from damn Twilight playing Batman, I'm gonna punch the screen.
Well, I mean, you may have to punch the screen then, because he's going to play Batman.
I thought they were still in talk. I didn't know it was final yet. They were saying still it was a possibility. It was still maybe. Have they finalized?
Well,
is that who's playing Batman now?
As far as I know, he's in final discussions if he hasn't already said yes to it. But I've also heard that, there's a joke going out there in a petition to get Danny DeVito to play Wolverine now.
I saw that. There's some memes out for that. That is funny.
Well, the big graphic artist out there, Boss Logic, who did all the really cool like Captain America against the guy from Scott Pilgrim one. Like he's the one sitting there putting out Danny DeVito as Wolverine now, and he's got the claws out, and he's got like the pointy hair and everything. It's pretty dope looking, but at the same time it's like it's Danny DeVito. If Danny DeVito doesn't play the Violator in Spawn in the new Todd McFarlane version of Spawn, I think that's a wasted effort there. I think he's got what it takes to play that character, since that character looks just like him. So there's that. So you got the two concerts. You got Haley's graduation coming up. How's Matthew doing?
He's doing good. He's ready for summer. I was asking him, like, dude, how many more days you got? He's got down. I got 11 more days. He's got no hesitation. He is ready for summer.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
what's up with you, friend?
What's up?
What's up with you? I know you got a lot going on too.
I feel like I got a lot going on. I don't know if it actually is. Day job is still day job. It's just doing what it does. I got Junior High Horrors #5 came out this week. So really cool thing about that. And it's been getting some good press, at least from the retailers, is that the 5th issue is actually the first issue that includes the open dyslexic font for dyslexia friendly readers, or dyslexia reader friendly. Yeah. See, there's my dyslexia kicking in. So it's the first issue that's actually printed with the fonts that are dyslexia reader friendly. So it's pretty important. We did a signing this past Wednesday, and the shop owner actually is dyslexic. So
I was going to ask you, how do you know if it's working or not? So
there's a lot that goes on with dyslexia, man. Like there's so many different levels of it that no two are the same, kind of.
Right.
Now, granted, that's not really true, but it's like if you meet 5 people with dyslexia, there's a good chance that none of them have the same level of dyslexia, because some of them get letters different, some of them get words different, some of them even mess up full sentences differently.
Okay.
So the font, the way that it works is that it actually puts more weighting in different spots on each letter, so that way at least with the letters, they're not turning the letters around.
Okay.
So a B and a D do look different. So it actually, based on what Dan, the shop owner, was saying, it really does help him keep things in order, rather than them all shifting around and doing their own thing, which is pretty awesome.
Well, that's cool.
Then this weekend, starting tomorrow, we're setting up for Carolina Fear Fest. There'll be at least 2 of us, myself and Billy, out there for Carolina Fear Fest. We may have our buddy Sean out there, I think Sunday. So he's one of the cover artists. He'll probably be out there Sunday. Then next week, I've got a signing at both Arkham comic shops, as far as I know. I was trying to clarify and make sure that all that was all set up today, because I should actually have copies of my next book, Dead Sonja, which is a Red Sonja parody where she's actually a zombie. So I'll have that, plus copies of Junior High Horrors #5, and then the weekend of Haley's graduation. I'll be hanging out with our old friend Mitch, because he lives out in Charlotte. He's offered to put me up for a couple days so I can do the whole Heroes Con. So I'll be hanging out with him and doing that convention. That one's going to be a pretty. I mean, that's probably the biggest full-on comic book convention that we're doing. Everything else seems to be like pop culture cons of some sort. So this one will be like the biggest Comic Con. So it's pretty big deal. And then obviously in July, I'll have part of the Keen Spot sampler. We've got 4 pages in that, and then Junior High Horrors #6 will be out by then. And I'll also have X Liefeld's coming out, hopefully in time for San Diego Comic Con. So we'll fly out to San Diego, do that convention, and then the very next weekend I've got to do Raleigh Galaxy Con. What used to be SuperCon here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
wow, dude.
And now we're actually I'm trying to set up some later conventions for a little bit later in the year before my blackout period at my day job goes in. So yeah, lots going on, man. Like, and then I still have to figure out like when to finish all the books. So
wow.
No, I've got Dead Sonya's completely written. That one's in the can. That one's actually being shipped out to me. I think it's actually shipped already, so it should be here probably Monday. X Liefeld's is fully written. Junior High Horrors #7 is halfway written. So we're almost up to at least #8, which right now, I don't want to say anything to scare people off from reading the last couple issues, but right now, #8 is what we've got planned. If the dyslexia thing takes off, where because dyslexic readers are actually starting to pick it up, or if libraries want to pick it up because of that reason, then we keep going. But it'll be the end of volume 2, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll see. My plan there is even if it doesn't stay on the same exact schedule that we do, like quarterly specials after that. So we start doing once every 3 or 4 months, where we do like a holiday special for the comic.
Oh, okay. So you're saying book 8, issue 8 is going to be the last one for.
Well, we don't know. The thing about the books is as long as sales stay up, the book stays coming out. It's never going to be something where I just want to drop it. The characters are kind of part of me now. Once again, I had someone show up at the signing who basically told me that their kid really resonated with the stories and how how the kids overcome being bullied and stuff. And it's one of those things that you get enough people to sit there and say that, and you just want to keep it going. So
yeah. So
we'll see. Like I said, I never thought that it would get to a second volume. So now we're in volume 2. Like #5 came out, this week. So it's gone further than anything else that I've ever done. So it's just cool knowing that, we can keep rolling with it. So
that's awesome.
So, yeah, so that's everything going on with the comics. That's everything going on with that stuff. I'm trying to figure out new ways to do this broadcasting for us so that maybe both of our pictures can be up at the same time the whole time, kind of like a news broadcast that has 2 people talking all the time. Still haven't figured it out, and like I was telling you off air, Tino, for whatever reason I can't figure it out. I'm just not smart enough to figure that stuff out. It's going to be interesting, but
it's got to be something simple.
Well, I don't think anything of it. I don't think any of it's simple. I think that's why the people that do it are really good at it, and sometimes even get paid for it. Whereas like us, we're just doing this for shits and giggles more than anything else. But
yeah.
but regardless, so you asked me what I thought about the new Batwoman TV show.
Oh yeah.
The trailer looked pretty good. I think Ruby Rose will be interesting. In most roles that she's had, she really hasn't done a lot of speaking, so it's going to be interesting how they roll that into a more avid speaking role. Obviously, she's going to be the main character of the show, so you assume she's going to have some speaking roles. I did think it was interesting that each of the WB shows, or the CW shows, are going to be are all going to be tying in for the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. and they have said that Batwoman's show will be part of that. So this year they only did 3 different shows that crossed over. Next year it's all 5 shows crossing over. So
wasn't she? She was in an episode of, was it the Flash or Super?
I think it was Arrow. I think she was in Arrow's episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, they totally put her in there. And it was kind of like the launch pilot kind of thing to see whether or not people actually bid into it. But that crossover, the funny thing about it, and here we are, we said we were going to talk about wrestling, and we're already half an hour into the show, and we haven't really spoken about wrestling at all. But that's what wrestling's been recently, right? Not part of our day-to-day lives like it had been in the past. But they kind of backdoor piloted her. But that whole 3-episode series was really more of a Superman story than anything else. Did you see it?
Yeah.
See, because I love Tyler Hoechlin as
I do too. I didn't think I would, but he's awesome.
He's so good. He's got that country boy look to him. But then when he puts on the suit, you're like, damn, is that the same guy?
Well, I had to get over him playing Superman because I'm used to him. I don't know if you used to watch the MTV Teen Wolf. He was on that show.
Right.
And so he was a werewolf. So I'm like trying to, sometimes when you watch somebody on another show so long, and then all of a sudden they're on this show, you're like, it takes you a minute to get, okay, yeah, I can see it now.
I was talking about those episodes the other day, and I was like, you know what made it so great was when Stephen Amell sits there and pumps his chest out, and Barry looks at him and goes, Oliver, are you pumping your chest out? And he's like, no. And it's like, yeah, you are. And it's like, no, I'm not. That's just, the whole thing just looks like the whole idea of Crisis on Infinite Earths happening. Because they've already said that the next season of Arrow is the last season, and it's only going to be 8 episodes or 10 episodes.
And I haven't watched any of Arrow this season. I'm gonna have to binge watch it on the CW or something.
This season was pretty good. It wasn't the best. It was pretty good. It kind of got back to where the thing that Stephen Amell told the producers is if they wanted him to continue to do the series for the season that just happened, they had to run it as if it were going to be like the last season. So go ahead and nail it down. This is going to be the last season, knowing that it could still go on further than that, but just the idea that it really could be the end. Mm-hmm. Every single season kind of gives you like that feeling of, man, this could be a super cliffhanger, and that kind of thing. But yeah, they signed it for 10 more episodes. All the other shows I think are full sets except for Legends of Tomorrow, which only has like 2/3 of a season. Normally it was like 16 episodes this season. Yeah. And they made a really funny joke. They made a really funny joke in the final episode of this season. They were like, yeah, we asked Oliver and Barry and Supergirl if they wanted to be part of this episode of this little, because they were trying to start like a superhero fun park or something, and they all had to dress up as one of the characters from the other shows.
Oh God!
And they were like, yeah, we kind of had to do this way because we totally should have done the crossover. So it was pretty funny that's how that kind of went down. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited with where they're going, because knowing that Arrow's only 10 episodes, it kind of makes you feel like it's going to have a definitive ending, because its last episode, if I had to guess, is going to be that crossover.
Crossover to what?
Well, the other 4 shows.
Oh, gotcha.
They're going to do Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I think that's going to be when all 5 of them cross over. It's going to be Arrow's going to be the last episode of that.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Although DC Comics has always done things like Funeral for a Friend or whatever, so it's possible that he dies in the very first part, and then the 5th part they're having the funeral or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows? But check this out. Ready for some really interesting spoiler-like information?
All right.
You know who's signed to guest star in some episodes of at least one of those shows next season.
Oh, I read it. Blah, 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 blah. Smallville dude.
Tom Welling.
Yes.
Yep.
But who's he playing? Because we've already established they already have a Superman.
But doesn't mean that they don't have other Supermans, considering they have different Flashes.
True that.
So I
thought he didn't want to come back. And remember, that's why he didn't want to come back as Superman. He wanted to leave that part behind. Yeah, because he's not doing crap. That's what that is.
Well, he was in Lucifer, but you know, like he hasn't really done other stuff. But I mean, like I think it's got to do with this little, like maybe a little ching ching, a little cheddar cheese. You know, like
he was in Cheaper by the Dozen too. But I don't mean
Cheaper by the Dozen. Listen to you.
That don't mean anything.
Sure doesn't. But I think, but you know, they also showed Michael Rosenbaum, so he may actually also be in it. Now, I'll tell you, Tino, I watched one episode of Supergirl.
Yeah, I don't like John Cryer.
Only one. Dude, I love John Cryer. He's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like you kind of get the feeling that his 2.5 Men character finally went off the deep end because he got made fun of for 8 seasons.
You only watched one episode of Supergirl? Dude, that show is awesome.
My problem is that I really like when they have Superman on it, but I don't care about all of the is she gay, is she not gay stuff.
Oh, that, yeah.
You know, and let's be real. Okay, let's be real for a second here.
Oh, shit.
Jimmy Olsen is a ginger.
I knew you were in there. Well, they can have other Flashes in other universes. Why can't they?
Hold on. The thing that we didn't say that Superman's not going to be white. Which by the way, in at least one of the universes, Superman is not white. But I digress there. My point is that Jimmy Olsen has always been the sniveling guy behind Clark Kent, not the other way around. Not the guy who stands up. Not that guy. That's not Jimmy Olsen. You know, the closest that they got to him being that was the Zack Snyder version in Batman versus Superman, and I still don't think that version really should have ever existed. Not to mention, it may not have really been Jimmy Olsen. It might have been some guy that was just stealing his identity to be a secret agent trying to kill a guy in whatever Kazakhstan or whatever it was.
Well, if you don't watch Supergirl, so you don't know. That's the whole. I think the whole thing behind that Jimmy Olsen. He was that guy in Metropolis. That's why he came to whatever city they're in.
Dude, he's 6'5", like 230. There's no mistaking him for a sniveling little guy that runs up behind people. Sorry.
Did you see the Green Mile?
Something ain't right with you.
I tried to fix it, boss.
Something ain't right with you. All right. So so you want to hit some wrestling?
Yes, just some wrestling. First, I think we should before we started off, we lost somebody this week, and we probably should pay condolences to Ashley Mazzaro. She's only 39 years old, and she is apparently she committed suicide. She hung herself, which isn't a good thing. So she has her daughter who's 20. So her daughter is born in 2000. So actually she's 18. She's Haley's age. So got a young daughter living behind, losing your mother like that. It's got to be a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's.
You took a picture with her. You got to meet her, right?
I did at Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh. I was going to work one day, and I just see this stunning woman like walking down the mall, but she looks lost, and I'm like, I have a chance to be a superhero here. You know, I can help save the day.
Oh, here we go.
And I mean, it was 9 o'clock in the morning. I barely had drank like a Mountain Dew at this point, like to wake up or whatever, because I don't drink coffee. And I turn and I look and I go, you look lost. And she goes, ha ha ha, no, I'm not lost. I'm like, well, you look like you're really looking for something. And she goes, she goes, "Is this a pickup line?" And I'm like, "No, you actually look like you're lost and you need help." And she goes, "Do you know where the Apple store is?" And me being who I am, I said, "Yeah, if you look right down that way, you'll see a giant apple."
Smart ass.
I not thinking, right? And she's like, "Wow, thanks, smart ass." And I'm like, "No." I was like, "Seriously, here, I'll walk you down to it." So I walk her down to the Apple store, and she says, "Hey, thanks." I was like, I didn't mean to sound like an asshole. It's just like it's a big apple. You're like, that's what it is. And she laughs. She goes, "I was just messing around anyway." It's like, okay, cool. And then I start walking away, and I go, "You know what? No one's gonna believe that I met Ashley Mazzaro." So I was like, I walk into the Apple store, and I go, "Excuse me, Ashley, is there any way I can get a picture with you?" And she was like, "Absolutely." So she came up and she just like threw out the quotes and just did her thing. Yeah, the whole understanding now that it was suicide, Tino, is really rough. She had actually been talking with people like Cody Rhodes about the possibility of doing some stuff with AEW. She had some other stuff going on too. They're also like I guess an affidavit of her ending ways and lawsuit against the WWE became public this week, and some other stuff had happened, or at least she like claimed things happened. I don't know what the truth is behind all of it. But I could totally see how that would have scarred somebody. It seems like she may have had some problems with some substances in her lifetime, and like it's one of those things where wrestling takes a toll on people, and sometimes it's more mental than physical. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes you get put in awkward situations and really bad situations like what she was explicitly detailing. And it's really really kind of sad to see how this affects people and how it affects lives, like 39 years old. I mean, she's younger than both of us. She had a daughter. It's just kind of crazy, man. And I'm sad because like I actually did get to meet her, and my one experience with her was just awesome. you
Yeah.
know so like she didn't have to be super sweet to me at 9 o'clock in the morning, walking around a mall trying to find the Apple store, but she was. And like hell, there's 99% of the time, if you catch me before my store opens up, I'm not the nicest guy in the world. So I can only imagine like how someone who obviously at the height of her popularity was how she would have been treated back then. So it's sad.
Is that around the time she was dating Matt? Why was she in Raleigh at Crabtree at 9 o'clock?
WWE might have been in town. She may have been dating Matt. It could have been any number of things. But there was a while where, as far as I know, that she actually lived in North Carolina. So
yeah,
so but yeah, it's a sad time, man. And like everybody wants to remember for the good stuff. She'll never be a WWE Hall of Famer or anything, but it's nice to see that people actually remembered all the good.
Yeah.
So, in terms of wrestling news as it happens, this past week was Money in the Bank, and the joke is that WWE put on a great pay-per-view with a shitty 5 minutes at the end.
Yes.
And
so
in that,
I was so into it. I was like, "You guys are doing it! You guys are doing it!" And then I heard that music. I'm like, I cut the TV off.
Well, and in those 5 minutes, I saw a meme for it that basically said AEW's marketing is in full effect.
Yes.
Like Brock Lesnar sitting on top of the thing with the Money in the Bank in his hands was and Chris Jericho's tweet was awesome. He said Brock Lesnar wins the Money in the Bank, a guy who wasn't even involved in the match, walking away with the briefcase. He's the greatest. He's the future of WWE. They will be on top forever. And I'm just like, I'm like, leave it to Chris Jericho to really want to burn that bridge when it's a little bit burnt down right now.
You know what didn't help matters either, and we'll go back to the pay-per-view, but I want to go skip forward to Raw. Why is Brock coming out like it's a fucking boombox on his shoulder?
Well, by the way, folks, Tino just dropped an F-bomb.
I thought you were let that fly. Sorry. You've been saying shit all night.
I say shit all the time.
I say that word all the time.
Yes, you do.
I try to keep it.
Dude, why not? Why not make it seem like a... But you know what? I bet next week he comes out and it actually is a boombox.
Shut up.
I bet he's got 2 speakers in it the next time we see him.
Anyway.
Dude, I would totally do it. Like, his music comes on, he just... Yeah, I'm down. Like, are you kidding? That's the most character development we've seen in Brock Lesnar since he came in 2004.
Keep just no. So let's see. What's this? Let's go over this. I don't say botch. I mean, we were talking about it off air. A couple of things that I think the referees forgot the rules in a couple of these matches. Starting with the Rey Mysterio match. What'd you think of that? I think
Samoa Joe's a bitch.
I think they stopped it. I think when he did that seated senton and busted Joe's nose, I think they made that call in the ring, like, you got to take this home now. Because if you look, there was rumors that his son, what's his son's name? Dominic was supposed to turn or supposed to do something in that match, but when he busted Joe's face and the referee called it, you could see Dominic standing like, oh, what do I do?
I have no idea. I just remember that at one point there was supposed to be a gimmick, I think in WCW, where they were going to make a hunchback so that they could never get both of his shoulders down on the mat at one time, so he could never be pinned. And you know, the way that Joe got rolled up, it kind of looked like a hunchback getting rolled up, and neither one of his shoulders hitting the mat.
And the referee still counted.
I mean, that's what they do, though. Like now Samoa Joe can say that him and Ronda Rousey both.
Yeah. And the second one was the Miz and Shane match, where you're in a cage, no disqualification. The Miz pins Shane. Shane puts his foot on the rope and the referee stops the count. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, Corey Graves tried to sell it, saying that, you know, job security for the referee, and you know, when it's the boss, you get some special dispensation, and you know, it's as good of an excuse as any, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, there was also another one in the Becky Lynch match, so against Lacey Evans. It's, you know, referees are fallible just like anything else, but you know, if they're the thing that I was saying off air to you about the Shane McMahon one, though, is that if that like there's no way that it wasn't already a predetermined spot in that match when they wrote the match. Like, there's no way, because Shane needs the match probably laid out almost point for point, and unless he was supposed to get his shoulder up but then just decided to put his foot on the ropes instead, like, that just doesn't make much sense. Like, I mean, he might have had his bell rung, you never know, but you know, it's kind of like in the Royal Rumble when someone always tries to pin someone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what the hell are you doing? Like it's the Royal Rumble, you got to throw them over the ropes, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, and then of course they get tossed out because they're idiots. Yeah, so that's kind of what that feels like. So one thing I want to mention is that, like, you know, the pre-show of Money in the Bank was originally supposed to have the Cruiserweight match, and they ended up moving that to the real show.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Why?
Like, I mean, granted, I probably would have said that the Daniel Bryan, Rowan versus the Usos match would have been just as good on the main show as well, and they could have moved some other garbage match off of the main show. But I mean, good on them, man. Like they knew that match, like, and unfortunately, it wasn't like the Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy match that we got to see, it, you know, as a dark match. Like it should have been the main, that type of match should have been on the main card, and yet, and now Buddy Murphy's apparently supposedly on SmackDown, but we haven't seen him yet.
I've seen a lot of people are supposedly where they're supposed to be. And now we might see Buddy Murphy on SmackDown since, and I know we keep jumping back and forth, but since they introduced that ugly belt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan at all. Now, I'll be real with you. I haven't seen SmackDown. I might watch it after we get off here, just because I want to see the return of Spaghetti Head.
It was good.
So he came back full on heel, huh?
Yes. I don't want to ruin it for you because you hadn't seen it yet, but
well, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
He came out of nowhere. So Sami Zayn had challenged Kofi Kingston. It was a non-title match. Kofi pretty much had him won, and out of nowhere, Spaghetti Head came, and the number of times that he grabbed Kofi Kingston like this, I'm like, he's going to pull his eye out. He pulled him up like that. He beat him. He bent him across the turnbuckle on the outside, kind of like a bow and arrow thing. But instead of having him by his neck, he had him by his eyes, and he's just digging and pulling. I mean, he snapped. He was working stiff.
Was it good?
It was good. It was good. It was unexpected.
I mean, I find it really interesting that they've, obviously, they got Super Showdown, which wasn't that the name of the Australian show last year?
Mm-hmm. But I want to throw something else at you before you go into that. Before the match, they showed Big E, because Big E made his return last night too. He was jumped and left in the back, so he couldn't be ringside because so Big E and Xavier weren't at ringside because Xavier was taking care of Big E. Dolph Ziggler came in and jumped Kofi.
So what you're thinking?
You remember a few years back on SmackDown?
Oh yeah,
Dolph Ziggler's heavy.
Oh yeah. So you think it's all a ruse,
yes.
A cunning attempt to trick you?
I think this is the start of Big E's heel turn. I think they're going to line him with Dolph Ziggler. I don't know who's going to get the belt, but one of them will have the belt.
Well, it sounds like obviously they're gonna try to do something with Ziggler there, but maybe Dolph did actually take down Big E, and then Big E comes out and makes it look like he's gonna join Dolph Ziggler. Then he takes out Dolph Ziggler. Then he takes out Kofi.
Or I think Big E was faking in order for Dolph Ziggler to jump him.
Ooh. Well, he doesn't have AJ Lee to smack in the boobs now.
True.
So,
the page is still there for Xavier.
just slap Xavier. Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, and hey, it's the first time in a while I said that'll be interesting.
There you go.
So good on them. I do find it interesting as well how many people have said I'm not going to Saudi Arabia.
So who is it now? So Sami Zayn's not going.
Well, we know he's not going because he's Syrian and they have bad relations with Saudi Arabia, so he could end up getting killed.
Brian's not going. Daniel's not going. Right?
Yeah, Daniel Bryan has said he won't do it. Apparently, for how they treat gay people. Kevin Owens has now said he's not going.
Oh wow!
Which is why a lot of people think that that's why Dolph Ziggler is getting this match against Kofi Kingston. So those are the first three. I don't know. And of course, none of the women.
I didn't realize Sami Zayn was Syrian.
Yeah.
I know he's from Canada, but it didn't dawn on me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, as far as I know, he's half Syrian. Like he's half Montreal, half Syrian or something.
So what are they going to? So that's why they're bringing out the big guns with Undertaker and Goldberg.
What's up with them saying that this show's just as big, if not bigger, than WrestleMania?
I don't think they should have done that. I think they're trying to keep the Saudi Arabian prince or whoever's making the big bucks, trying to keep them happy.
Yeah, but none of us give a shit.
That's on a Friday. Who the hell?
Well, it's on a Friday because it's a house show. It's just a big house show. I'm surprised they haven't called Jericho to see if he wants to work it yet.
I think Vince is pissed at Jericho. I think Jericho's done with WWE.
So Jericho did a Busted Open Radio interview this week. Did you hear about it?
No.
It's pretty good, man. He basically he's talking to them and they're like, what's your relationship like with Vince? And he's like, I have a great relationship with Vince, you know, I still text with him all the time. I still talk with him, blah, blah, blah. He said, but I'll tell you a story about when I got heat with Stephanie. And I'm like, okay, it's just going to be talking about her boobs or whatever. And no, apparently when he was doing that, I'm the best in the world guy. And they had DX as the good guys in like 2009 or whatever. Uh-huh. He was like, he went out to the ring and someone threw one of those DX glow sticks and hit him in the eye with it. Right. And so he just went off script. He was like, well, fine. You guys want to throw stuff at me? Let's see what you got. Throw them all at me. Let's see what you got. And he just started slotting them out of the sky as they were like coming at him. He was getting heel heat, right? So he goes to the back and Stephanie basically like lights him up and is like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to go off script. You don't get to blah, blah, blah. And now he's like, you're not my boss. Your dad's my boss. So he even said that he texted Vince a heel promo that was like, you want to fine me? You want to suspend me for getting heat? That's my job. My job is to get heat. You don't get to sit there and like tell me that I can't go out and get heat as a heel. And Vince sends him a text message back that's just got a smiley face on it that says, "Settle down, Junior." And the next day he goes to work and Vince is sitting there and he's like, no, we don't even have to talk about it. You're good. It's fine. You're just doing your job. You're getting heat.
That's cool.
Yeah, but think about that. Like who else gets to do that?
Nobody.
Triple
H.
Yeah. Triple H.
Triple H.
So like I said, I hadn't really watched any wrestling over the past week. I didn't even watch the Money in the Bank pay-per-view because I was too busy watching John Wick 3.
Yeah,
it was good.
Highly
recommended.
Not much going on. Becky's no longer Becky 2 belts, and Bayley is now SmackDown champion.
Yeah, so I guess we'll end on a high note. We'll go ahead and say Bayley blue belt. She basically did her job and they rewarded her.
Yes.
So, Tino, I have to ask, is this No, and I'm not gonna go on any crazy rant or anything, but is this just they rewarded someone for doing her job at the right time instead of because somebody threw a fit and is now sitting at home? Like, is this a direct response to, hey, Sasha, this would have been you, but instead we're giving it to your best friend because she actually came back to work and did her job the way you're supposed to?
I think it's a little of both. Bayley was able to see past the bull, did her job, did what she was told, and she was rewarded. And I can see kind of them like, see, Sasha, if you'd have done what you're supposed to do, this could be you. So I think it's a little of both. I think Bayley does Bayley deserve it? Yes, Bayley deserves it. Bayley worked her butt off and has worked her butt off, and it's probably one of the. She's a very good worker. I don't know if say she's one of the best, but she's high up there. But yeah, I think it's a little both.
Did you also notice that the Revival actually got a 1-2-3 on the Usos after weeks of getting made fun of?
Yeah, but I think they're still going to be on their way out. I think this is the WWE now. I think because AEW has landed. I think Vince was kind of like, AEW was kind of like a mosquito buzzing around him. But I think now that they've got this TNT deal, I think it's getting more serious. I think he's a little more concerned about it. And so now he's trying to keep his people happy. And I think it's a little too late.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Though I will say that it did seem like, based on the reaction to SmackDown, that SmackDown was written better. And that's a good thing. I also find it interesting that here we are getting ready to have the first AEW pay-per-view, and now one of the top matches is off.
Hangman and Pop. What? I mean, I can kind of understand, but I think it's selfish too. He doesn't want to lose because he wants to keep his character and another company strong. I think it's what it boils down to.
Well, and I mean, like, he has every right to feel that way. If he's defending if he's the champion in another place that he truly respects and thinks is on par with any other company, then he has every right to feel that way. At the same time, like, you sign a contract, you should already know that if you're signing an AEW contract for an AEW match, not to be on roster with AEW longer than that,
you're
going to assume that you're gonna lose. You gotta. I mean, it's common sense, right?
You would think.
It's interesting though, because now aren't they making like the Kenny Omega versus Jericho match for the World Championship?
Yeah.
And if they're doing that, it's funny because Jericho already has a world title match in New Japan after this AEW match. So it kind of makes me wonder whether or not they actually do have a New Japan agreement, even though everyone's saying there's no agreement. That I can't see a contracted AEW guy showing up with the AEW World Championship to go up for the New Japan World Championship. And here we are saying someone not looking strong and blah blah blah. I mean, what are they going to do? Go Broadway and have Jericho actually go 30 minutes or 60 minutes?
That's you saying that he's going to. So it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to beat Omega and become the champion.
Man, okay, so I will admit that AEW doesn't want to be WWE with their 50-50 booking, but I can't see Jericho going down 0-2 to Kenny Omega. And after losing a second match to Kenny Omega, getting, actually getting the New Japan World Title match. It just doesn't make sense.
And then so having said that, what have I said all along? If you're going to go against the big dog like the WWE, they're going to have to share talent with ROH and New Japan.
Oh yeah. Well, we've all said that. It's just they're trying to do it without them. At least that's what they've said all along. But Jericho's contract lets him wrestle in New Japan if he wants to. And I mean, who's going to say no to wrestling the New Japan World Champion?
Well, I was watching AEW. Was it AEW? There's something on YouTube, and it was WrestleMania. It's one of the YouTube channels I watched. A couple of their guys had gone to an AEW event, and they had.
Well, AEW hasn't had any events yet.
It wasn't no. It was a party, like a block party, it wasn't like a wrestling
gotcha.
event.
Okay.
They were doing a party to try to help promote it.
Right. Okay.
If they're not working with New Japan, then why were the Bullet Club there? Like Haku, Sun, like the Bullet Club were there.
They weren't at AEW.
Huh?
They weren't at AEW.
They were at this block party. I gotta forward you the YouTube video.
I thought the block party was them being was Ring of Honor.
I might have to go back and look at it. I thought it was AEW because I thought Cody was there.
No, I don't think so.
I'll have to look at it again. If I find it, I'll forward it to you.
And I mean, different people's contracts work different ways, right?
Mm.
Kenny Omega could only wrestle in Japan for New Japan, but he could wrestle here for whatever company he wanted, and he chose, Ring of Honor for a while.
So is Dustin Goldust not part of WWE anymore?
No, he was given his release in January so that he could actually be there for Double or Nothing, and so is Sean Spears, I believe his name is, formerly known as
Austin Aries. I mean, not Austin Aries. Ty Dillinger.
Yep. He's now entered in that battle royale.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that Hangman Page is going to win the battle royal now that he's got no one to go up against, and then do a stare down with whoever wins the world championship. I don't know. It'll be really interesting. I'm really interested to watch the pay-per-view on Saturday night, Tino, but I got to tell you, I don't want to.
Is that this Saturday? Yep. I think you just froze up on me again. I'm gonna keep talking. If it's this Saturday, I'd love to try to check it out. It is no, I gotta play tonight, so I gotta figure out where I can watch it. I hope I can get you after my show. So, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you didn't notice, I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Rob's screen is frozen up on me, so you may still be able to hear me. I'm just looking at Rob's face. He's just kind of like frozen, looking at me. And I can't hear a word he's saying. So I'm hoping we're still live. Hello? Oh, okay. I was still talking. I'm like, I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but he froze up on me. I was still talking. Oh, damn. All right. We got an hour. That's what we said we wanted to do.